Welcome to the shop. Got myself the FMS Integral. The thumbnail, as far as this being for distinguished pilots only, I don't know. I was on my way to work. I fly early morning, 6:30 a.m. Get up. I was dressed for work, and it was kind of a fun thumbnail. Regardless, a little different. Speaking of different, this plane's different. Let's be honest. It looks different. Aren't any planes that look like this. Somebody said it kind of looks like an Avanti and an air tractor kind of thing. So I don't know. Look, this plane might look different, but I have never assembled a plane that was manufactured better than this. Meaning all the attention to detail, the hard points, the foam finish, just everything about it really is a wonderful plane from a manufacturing design perspective. The aesthetics of it, not my favorite, but I'll say the plane flies really, really well. There's a couple gotchas. It's not a perfect plane. It doesn't fly real slow with full elevator without tipping a wing, but it flies really well, flies incredibly fast. In this video, I'm going to go through, like I always do, I'm going to go through the unboxing, the assembly, little things here and there that I noticed, which weren't many. I'm going to go through my maiden flight, and then, kind of a bonus flight, and then in the end, go through summary. As always, guys, if you like what I'm doing, hit the like button. It lets me know that I'm making the kind of videos that you find valuable. If you have a comment, obviously leave a comment, and subscribe and all the cool stuff. Makes me feel good about doing these videos. So appreciate it. Stick around. All right, we're going to open up the Integral. Plane's been out for a little bit. A lot of reviews on it. It was a big push by FMS. A lot of people had these. So I'm kind of going through the second run of it. Regardless, what I'm going to do is, go through the unboxing, assemble it, fly it, and really try to figure out how to tune this. What is that like? I will say, and several comments were made on some of the other YouTube channels. I mean, I don't know if you can tell. I mean, that is fantastic finish on it. I don't know how they got that, whether it's painted on and just a couple coats, because it looks, I mean, you can't hardly tell it's foam. Here you can maybe a little bit, but for the most part, that's fantastic. Kind of not hard rubber, but, hard. But they're not solid. I can squish and make a dent there. And nice Wolio struts. Let's take some of this other stuff out. Obviously, second wing looks just like the first wing. Got a fiberglass rod here. This now we got a bag of push rods. The quality is good. The finish is fantastic. It really is. There's a couple little nuggets there on the stickers, but overall finish fantastic. Metal gear, at least from the top part. Can't tell if the whole thing is metal gear, but I would assume, let's assume so. Quality hinges. So let's just take a look at the quality of the plane. Outstanding. Really made and designed well. Got the snap-on nose cone everybody's talked about. All right, now we got, let's take this out. Packaged well, says right there. Same thing here, good hinges. Looks like 3 screws, no big deal. The assembly on these is going to be as typical of what FMS is putting out. Good stuff on their newer products. It's really easy to assemble. Got the same system that some of the other planes, the newer planes, have. Obviously a couple screws and you're good to go. Top hatch. Man, that's really, I can't believe this is foam. No gyro, no nothing. Have a EC, what is that, EC5. I'll have to chop it off and put on a XD90 because that's what I fly with. but everything else goes into the board. Looks pretty simple. I'm going to install the new V3 gyro in it. It's got the battery tray. A lot of talk about the battery tray and the batteries on other channels. A little bit of a cheater hole. Front nose gear. Nothing out of the ordinary. The build's going to take about no time at all when we put this thing together. All right. First thing we're going to do is connect the elevator. Make sure they're going the right way. Yellow's on top. Yellow's on top. Slide that down. Chunk of paint came off. But I think, yeah, it's from inside there. That's not a problem. So these just go down with, it's like 3 screws. As soon as it starts getting a little tight, good. Rudder. Make sure have it. All right. Looks like that's down properly. 3 more screws. Okay, that was simple. That's all done. Before I get too carried away, I'm either going to use an adapter, which I hate doing an adapter. But it's either an adapter or I cut them and just solder on a new one, which isn't a problem. Stay tuned. All right, did a quick solder job. Got the new XT90 connector on there. Doesn't take a lot of time. I would say it's a skill that everyone should know how to do. It's nice to be able to have that option instead of going with an adapter. I've done the adapters, but just when you're drawing a lot of amps and you're trying to get the most performance out of your stuff, adapters just cause a little bit more resistance. All right, let's throw the wings on. This is a small, short wings, really. I'm gonna flip this guy over here and make the connection that they have the nice little plugs. Make that life easier there. Getting the screws to make sure that they line up properly. I can see that they're not lining up exact, and I don't want to crush the foam, so I'm going to push on these plastic parts here. Still crush the foam a little bit, trying to push them together. I'm not going in yet. There we go. So a little pressure to get those seated. Not going to take apart the wings for transport or anything. So that one's in. That one feels good. Screw. Okay, next step. Get all these guys on. You got a pile of them. Got 7 of them. Is that right? Yep, 7. So these shouldn't be a big deal. First thing I'm going to do though is get a radio in it or a receiver in it, get that bound up, get everything centered, neutral, make sure the flap servos are going the right way before I click anything on, and put those on and bam, done. I mean, this is a quick, in a 1 hour you're ready to roll. Well, that was probably one of the quickest builds I've had in a long time. It went together pretty quick. The part that probably took more time than anything was just getting the radio. I did put the brand new Reflex V3 in there. And now you can see it. The V3's in there, and that the Integral is on the app. So just downloaded or basically synchronized through my phone through the app the new parameters, all the information, and I can change it if I want. If I think that I need a little bit more on the gains or sensitivities, turn those down. I can do all that at the field. Have a Lemon RX in there. Going to do a range test. I wanted to put this together with all just FMS gear or motion gear, and even though I fly Spectrum, just to test things out. So next step is I'm going to measure out and kind of go through the control surfaces on my rates. Just for maiden, I usually have 3 different throws, and it helps me with the tuning, and that's about it. And then we'll be doing a maiden pretty darn soon. All right, double checking everything. Gonna put it on low rates. One last check. I have the gyro turned off for right now. Let's get her up and see how she flies. I'm gonna go through the same process. Gonna get her up, trimmed, do a couple tests, and then work on landings. Half throttle, gear up, wants to climb a little, so we're gonna give her back off on throttle a little. I'm having a hard time seeing hate when my lanyard gets in the way. Have to give a little down.
So as you can see, I had my hands full a little bit getting her trimmed out. Finally get there, but it just took a little bit longer than normal. Plus the wind was causing me a little problem.
Getting bounced around a little bit. Wind, got a little wind coming in. Still trying to get her trimmed out good. I'm gonna turn on the gyro here. Got a lot of wind coming in all of a sudden. Gyro. Got a whole lot of wind now. As soon as I take off, go figure. Alright, we're going to try to make a couple approaches here now that we got a lot of great wind.
Normally I do a couple more tests, stall tests, inverted for center of gravity, but here I'm just running out of time, so I'll have to do that on the next flight.
We're going to do a couple landing approaches. Half lap. Backing off on throttle. Backing off on throttle a little bit more. Really disappointed this wind kicked on here. I'm cutting back on throttle. Cutting back on throttle a little bit more. She glides in, don't she? Oh, right through a big puddle. Didn't want to go through that big puddle. All right, well that was not as great of a maiden as I would have liked.
we'll get some more flights out of her, get her tuned up. I didn't get a chance to do much. Didn't know how much that battery was going to last, so wanted to bring her in before I run out of juice. So got her trimmed at least. A couple things we'll work on. Stay tuned.
Motor on. Flaps up, gear up. Time remaining 3 minutes.
Got a little bit more elevator in it than I probably need, and I could stall her out if I wanted to, just pulling back too much. There's a balance there. I might change out my throws on that a little bit. All in all, just a really fun flying plane.
Landing flaps. Time remaining 2 minutes. Flaps up. Takeoff flaps. Flaps up.
A lot of power. All right, let's get a couple good landings out of her. Gears coming down. Power through that turn.
Takeoff flaps.
And give us some full flap.
Time remaining 1 minute.
A little bit of throttle through the turn, backing off on throttle, cutting back, idle. Yes, right over there. Just stalling it right above. Let's try to get a cleaner looking one though. We'll take that one and call it a great day of flying the Integral. Fun plane.
Flaps up.
Really flies well. Zippy little thing.
Motor off.
It is pretty good with this plane. I mean, she will slow down.
About ready to see a stall. I had too much flap in my mix, and I was pulling up on a little more elevator to slow her down, and well, it kind of got sporty.
Landing flaps.
Well, there she stalled. Ha ha ha!
Takeoff.
Found the stall.
Let me summarize. A couple things. One is the plane flies exceptionally well. There's some caveats, right? You have too much flap, adding too much elevator, flying too slow, guess what it's going to do? It's going to stall. like I showed. That's my fault, not the plane. I'm pushing the plane a little too much. The plane, I found, likes to fly on a gyro. I used the V3 reflex that I had, used the integral parameters, flew well. When I flew it off of gyro, it didn't fly as well. So I would recommend using a gyro on this, whether you're going to go with Spectrum or the FMS system. As I talked about in the intro, and I've talked about throughout the video, is on the assembly and unboxing, the quality that went into this is exceptionally well. I mean, I'm trying to think if I've seen a finer quality foam, fit, finish, all the niceties, the hard plastic where it should be on places, the quality of the components. This is a really well manufactured airplane. It really is. It's really well made. As far as who's it for, look, if you're going to buy this, you better know how to fly a fast EDF. That's all it is to it. This thing will move. Yes, it'll slow down, but you need to be able to process what's happening with that plane and adapt to it from a speed perspective, especially on landings. It'll come in well. When you get the flap elevator mix just right, she comes in easy. But until you get there, you've got some work to do. 3.5 minutes of fun flight, this plane is it. So, look, I've enjoyed flying it. I've enjoyed, checking it out. It's different. It is absolutely a different plane. But I've enjoyed it. So, if you have any questions, leave a comment. If you like what I'm doing, you like my videos, hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed and you kind of like this whole concept of what I'm doing, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. Makes me feel good about making these long videos. Take care. Have a great day.